Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. As we've been doing for quite some time on this program, we're going to start off tonight's program with a salute to the United States of America with the singing of the United States National Anthem. I would ask everyone now to please rise for the National Anthem.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now would you make welcome, straight from Washington, D.C., the United States Army Corps Quartet.
Yeah.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Oh, yeah! Come on, folks, let them know it.
The United States Army Barbershop Quartet performing at the Barbershop Quartet Convention in 2015. We want to thank these men for doing this for us and for the entire world. We want to thank our United States military forces wherever they might be around this world as well. May God bless them. God bless their families. May God bless all of our allied military as well, those countries who are allied or allies of the United States. May all our military members, men and women, be blessed, and may they be returned home to their families after their tours of duty end. God bless you all. Thank you so much for your service. We appreciate that so much. Now, folks, we have a lot of things that we want to talk about tonight. First, I want to give thanks to Charlene, who sent us a beautiful Christmas card a few weeks ago. I told everybody about it, but this is the first time I remembered to pick it up out of the car and bring it in. It's beautiful. As you can see, it's a very beautiful Christmas card. Inside, may you enjoy the blessings of a joyous holiday season. I wish to express my personal gratitude for what you do, Ron. Knowledge is power. I continue to learn from you basic geological concepts and enjoy... Sorry, I keep getting these stupid solicitations for insurance. Anyway, she goes on to say, Ron, knowledge is power. I continue to learn from you basic geological concepts enjoy your presentation videos and explanation. As a senior elder not far west of the Nevada seismic zone, I wonder. You're a gift. I feel to the sleeping. You're a gift. I feel to the general sleeping public. Civil preparedness is overlooked today. In common school curriculum, it's overlooked. She goes on to say the days of duck and cover, getting under your school desk at the ring of a random alarm, just might be gone. I believe it is gone. However, God's kingdom reigns over all of us. Jesus is our salvation. And Mother Earth, well, she's in charge. Thank you for educating me, giving me so much information. I look forward to hearing from what you have to say daily, if I can watch. May the Lord be with you. Keep you safe, Charlene. Thank you so much, Charlene, for that beautiful card. I want to also thank Arnold. Arnold's been here in the chat for many months now. I appreciate him ever so much. He's helped support giving us donations, helping to support this program, and I received a donation from him this weekend. I've taken the majority of that donation and applied it to Samaritan's Purse. Today I got a generous email back from them. I want to read you the email I got from Samaritan's Purse. Dear Emergency Management Associates, thank you for your generous support of Samaritan's Purse. We greatly appreciate your partnership as we work worldwide to provide physical and spiritual aid to suffering people in the name of Jesus Christ. Your generosity is enabling us to continue sharing the love of Christ and the hope of the gospel. Blessed be the Father, blessed be God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, according to his great mercy. He has caused us to be born again to a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 3. I have all this information, okay, on the donation, the transaction, everything. I appreciate that ever so much. This email can serve as an official tax receipt, which I don't really give a darn about a tax receipt donation. But I do give a darn to make sure the people of North Carolina up in the mountains are taken care of. That's what this donation was for. Now, with that said, I will get paid again from YouTube sometime after the 21st. When that donation comes in, I'm going to send another sizable donation to Samaritan's Purse, this time in the name of Los Angeles Fire, to make sure the people of Los Angeles are taken care of. Right now, my last three donations have gone to Samaritan's Purse, earmarked for North Carolina. Those people are still suffering. On Saturday, I watched a video as people got locked out of their hotels and motels that they had been living in for 100 days, and FEMA stopped paying the bills. And hundreds of families were locked out with no place to go, and more snow falling, and temperatures dropping. Temperatures dropped to 0 Fahrenheit during this weekend, and they got a sizable donation of snow to their area. A sad day in our government service. FEMA has a lot to be desired. Even, like I said, after I had contacted Mike Johnson back in the first part of October to make sure that FEMA had the money to give to the people of North Carolina. FEMA hasn't done hardly squat. FEMA has not done hardly squat. I also watched another video where there were probably 200 or 300 trailers or motorhomes sitting on an acreage. I believe it was in South Carolina, sitting on an acreage in South Carolina, sitting there, unoccupied. That's what FEMA's doing with our money. I can't wait till next Monday. I actually cannot wait till next Monday. So we get a president in charge who will do something for our people. For the American people. Because this kind of crap has got to stop. It has to stop. Charlene says she prays for North Carolina victims as well. Where and what is FEMA doing for these poor souls? Babies freezing to death. Snowing and ice in the environment. Yes, absolutely there is. And I know of at least 2 babies that have been found dead after being exposed to that cold intense with their parents. It's a sad day. It's a sad day in American history where our federal government is sending millions and millions of dollars to Ukraine. On Friday, Biden sent another $30 million to Ukraine. When President Trump takes over on Monday, the donations to Ukraine will stop. I'm hoping and praying that President Trump will turn things around for people here in North Carolina. It's got to stop. It has to stop. Our poor friends in North Carolina are suffering. And people over in Los Angeles are also suffering right now. But there are donation centers that I'll talk about in a few minutes over in Los Angeles. Donations are coming in all over the world for Los Angeles right now. But I believe it was our government that is responsible for what happened in LA. I have that information. I have a lot of information. Now, folks, I'm going to play the news conference from earlier. I want you to know what's going on. This is very important information.
During the morning hours regarding some of the wildfires burning in Los Angeles.
Robert Luna, Sheriff of Los Angeles County. Regarding our deployment, we still have well over 1,000 of our Los Angeles County deputies out there working on 12-hour shifts. We have 172 California Highway Patrol officers. I'd like to thank the commissioner who was with me yesterday, Sean DeRee, for all of his assistance. I also want to thank Major General Beavers. I was with him as well, and he has fortunately been able to increase the amount of National Guard assistance that he is giving us to up to 600. And he told me yesterday if we need more, we can ask for more, and we are strategically looking at that, analyzing it, and will ask as needed. Evacuations, we have approximately, and this is some good news because it's dropped, we have over 92,000 people who are under evacuation orders and approximately 89,000 people who are under evacuation warnings. I want our community to know this, and Chief Maroney did talk about this for a second. In every conversation we're having about evacuations, warnings, whether they're going to implement them or take them away, the conversation about repopulation is on all of our minds. I know that we are attending, staff's attending community meetings, whether they be out in the Palisades Fire area in Malibu for us at LA County Sheriffs, in the Altadena area. We are hearing our community loud and clear, and we want to get you in there as soon as possible. But I want to reiterate what is holding us up. This is very important. We are still, for the Altadena area, we are in the 3rd day of grid searching. It is a very grim task, and we, unfortunately, every day we're doing this, we're running across the remains of individual community members. That is not easy work, very sad to report, and I believe that work is not only going to continue, but I believe will continue to find remains. So please be patient with us. People are saying, I just want to go look at my house and I want to see what's left. We know that, but we have people literally looking for the remains of your neighbors. Please be patient with us. There's a lot of hazards in the area still. The area has not been rendered safe. Please be patient with us. And then we have the potential of crime scenes. And I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying we have to think ahead because we can't go back from that. So please be patient with us. The curfew is still in effect, 6 p.m. To 6 a.m. for specifically the mandatory evacuation areas in both the Palisades impacted area and the Eaton Fire impacted areas. Those are subject to change depending on need, one way or another. We understand, again, that people want to go back, but it is dangerous to do so, and we will not put anybody's safety at risk. I want to talk about arrest for the LA County Sheriff's area. Overnight, we had several other arrests. It brings it up to a total of 34 in our geographic area. We have 30 in the Eaton Fire area, and we have 4 in the Palisades area. Last night specifically, again, for LA County Sheriff's jurisdiction, we arrested 4. 2 were for curfew violations. 2 were arrested for 1 drone incident. To my knowledge, we have now had 2 specific drone incidents that have resulted in 3 arrests. So as I talk to our community again, if you do not have business in the evacuation areas, do not go there. Please, you're infringing upon the work that our first responders need to attend to. And I do want to say, when I talk about these arrests, I want to clarify not all of them are for burglary or looting or for curfew violations. But it is very important when I say stay out, we are arresting people who are not supposed to be there, who do not live there, who are in possession of narcotics. We've arrested several with guns. And yeah, I'm going to tell you something. If our deputies being very proactive in these areas, stopping people in a constitutional manner as always, making sure that they're supposed to be there and you have narcotics on you and you have a gun on you, in police work we call that a clue, something's wrong there. So that's why we're arresting people. Our search and rescue missions, through the 2 days, we have searched 1,874 properties. In regards to deaths, and again, I want to clarify, this is for the Los Angeles County area of responsibility. We have confirmed 21 deaths, 16 in the Eaton Fire area, and 5 in the Palisades area. And sadly, yes, unfortunately, I anticipate the number to go up. Missing persons, we are actively, have 23 active missing persons reported. 17 in the Eaton Fire area, 6 in the Malibu area. All of them are adults. Thank God there's no juveniles. But if you believe you have somebody who's missing, make sure you report that to us as soon as possible.
We're listening here to LA County Sheriff Robert Luna speak at the briefing that we had early today. This was given around 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 in the morning Pacific Time. Also on your screen, though, I do want to bring in this live image of a press conference set to get underway shortly here, featuring the Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman. He is going to be discussing and announcing some charges that he's brought forth against an alleged arsonist and also alleged looters. And interesting, you did hear Sheriff Robert Luna discuss some of the arrests that have been made so far. 34 arrests made near the sites of these fires. We're stepping away for our final commercial break of this hour here at Live Now from Fox. We continue with more of these updates. Next.
Okay, as soon as they rejoin, I'll bring up the district attorney from Los Angeles to talk about the arrests and talk about the prosecution of the subjects that have been popped over in the Pacific Palisades area. 30 arrests. 30 arrests. It's not over. Some of these suspects are armed and dangerous. These people have no business being there. They've stolen into the area, meaning they were not cleared. Right now, we have United States National Guard troops in various areas, strategic locations throughout the fire areas that are supposed to be protecting the area, only allowing residents that have IDs into the area. Only residents that have IDs in the area. Unreal what we're going through here. Unreal.
And in Pacific Palisades. That's according to something that was told to us by Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman back on Sunday. And you see here that they're doing the final mite checks, so it should get started soon. So this press same time, CAL FIRE has been posting to their social media account, to their X account, discussing the critical fire weather alert, saying that Southern California is facing critical fire weather through Wednesday, and much of Southern California from San Luis to San Diego is at significant risk of rapid fire spread due to life-threatening winds and dangerously low humidity.
Okay, what she's saying is right. Even San Diego is at risk. Okay, and yes, Ruthie B, solar flares are high, and that is one of the reasons we have these fires, but not all of it.
West Coast time. We will have an update on the Palisades fire, but here on your screen you see Los Angeles County.
Breaking into your regular programming for a special update on our wildfire coverage. I'm Sandra Endo.
And I'm Roxy Carpathian. You're about to hear from LA District Attorney Nathan Hochman as he makes an announcement on the wildfire looting charges along with arson charges. Let's listen in. Okay, they're getting ready, obviously, set up to go regarding the charges which he is set to announce. There are a number of things we expect to hear. We've heard that 40+ arrests have been made in relation to looting in the Pacific Palisades, and there has been an arson arrest in Azusa. All right, let's listen in now.
So, as we've said before, with the firefighters literally putting their lives on the line to save people's lives, their homes and their properties and their businesses, with law enforcement working 24 hours to keep us safe and secure during these tragic times, with over 200,000 Angelenos cooperating with evacuation orders in order to make sure that they get out of harm's way, but allow firefighters and first responders and law enforcement to do their business. There have been certain people that we have given a warning to because we anticipated that this was going to happen, and these are the criminals. These are the people who are seeking to exploit this tragedy for their own benefit. These are people who have engaged in looting, arson. We've also investigated price gouging. We'll be investigating internet scams and the like. Today we're here to announce that the promise that we made when we started this, that these criminals would be arrested, they would be prosecuted, and they will be maximally punished, is a promise we are keeping. As we announced today, the charges being filed on 10 different individuals, 9 of them for looting in both the Palisades and the Eden fires, and 1 for arson. And arson, by the way, not connected with the origination of the major fires, but an arson that occurred in Azusa. These felony charges are the result of a multi-agency collaboration that has been nothing short of incredibly impressive to be able to bring these charges this quickly. This collaboration includes the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, the Los Angeles Police Department, the Los Angeles County Fire Arson Unit, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, the ATF, the Los Angeles City Attorney's Office, and all our related cities that you'll hear about that have done incredible work under enormously stressful times in order to bring these culprits to justice. I'll go through the various charges that have been filed to date. The first set of charges are against 3 individuals, Martrell Peoples, Damari Bell, and Travin Coleman. What two of these individuals did is on the night of both January 8th and the early morning hours of January 9th, they went ahead and committed first-degree residential burglary and looting during an emergency and evacuation situation in a house in Mandeville Canyon. They have been charged with first-degree residential burglary. They've been charged with looting. They've been charged with grand theft. They stole over $200,000, as been alleged by the charging documents. And by the way, with respect to the charges I'm going to announce, please know this. The charges themselves are not evidence. Every one that I'm going to describe today is presumed guilty until and unless they are proven their guilt is proven by the government beyond a reasonable doubt.
Presumed innocent.
I'm sorry?
Presumed innocent.
Excuse me. Presumed innocent. Thank you for the change. Presumed innocent until and unless their guilt is proven beyond a reasonable doubt. So back with Mr. Peoples and Mr. Bell. They went ahead and committed these crimes, and when they committed these crimes, as you're going to see on this TV screen right here to my left, it was caught on a Ring camera. If you can play that as we're speaking. And the LAPD, through, again, such impressive investigation, worked with various leads and tracked Mr. Peoples and Mr. Bell to an apartment in Koreatown. Surveillance was then conducted. When they attempted to leave, they were then apprehended, and a number of these stolen items from that residence was found with Mr. Peoples and Mr. Bell. Mr. Peoples is is committed 2 prior violent or serious felonies. This is his third. As a potential 3-strike person, he is looking at life in prison. And Mr. Bell, as a second strike individual, will be looking at 22 years and 8 months in prison if convicted. Mr. Coleman accompanied Mr. Bell and Mr. Peoples out of that apartment building in Koreatown, went into a second car. And when Mr. Peoples and Mr. Bell were stopped, that second car, driven by Mr. Coleman, kept going. It went through a light. It crashed into another vehicle. That innocent person in the other vehicle suffered a concussion. So Mr. Coleman has been charged with 1-count felony hit and run causing great bodily injury. As also a potential 3rd strike case, he is looking at a maximum sentence of life in prison. The second case that we'll talk about involves Rudy Salazar and Lucia Hilrara Perez. They have been charged with 2 counts each of first-degree residential burglary in connection with an Altadena looting incident. On the night of, again, January 8th, they went ahead and entered 2 different houses in the Altadena area, stealing property in each of the houses, and they were apprehended by the police. And they are looking at 6 years maximum on each one of the residential burglary counts. The third set of charges is against Roy Sims, Ryan Sims, Naquan Dewey Reddix, and Pierre O'Bannon. They are each charged with 1 count of first-degree residential burglary in connection with their crimes, where they went into a house in Altadena in the early morning hours and stole a variety of different personal property from the owners of that house. If we can show some of that property and the burglary tools that were seized.
No.
We do not have that. Among the property that you'll see that was stolen in that particular incident was actually the Emmy Award of the resident who lived there. That was, the police worked incredibly quickly in that situation, stopped these individuals, and were able to apprehend them and recover most of the stolen property. The fourth incident is an arson incident in which Jose Gerardo Escobar has been charged. Do we have that ready? This is an incident that occurred in Azusa, where Mr. Escobar has been charged with 3 different arson charges. He is looking at 9 years in state prison. This is arson that occurred at Pioneer Park in the city of Azusa. It was investigated by the Azusa Police Department, who acted very effectively and very efficiently in apprehending Mr. Escobar. Mr. Escobar, as well, has been not only has been charged, but he is set for arraignment today. So again, with respect to all these charges, as I said before, these charges are not evidence, and they are presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. But this shows the effectiveness of law enforcement. So when I said, and I have been saying over the past couple days, the question is not if, but when you will be caught if you engage in these crimes. The 10 charges, or 10 different individuals that have been charged today, are evidence of that fact. And the warning shot remains. Do not go ahead and engage in looting, engage in internet scams, engage in price gouging. Do not violate evacuation orders, and do not commit any of these crimes in which people are trying to profit from the tragedy of the people who have suffered from these various fires. What I'd like to now do is introduce both Los Angeles Police Department Assistant Chief Blake Chow and Los Angeles Police Department Deputy Chief Alan Hamilton to provide further words.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Blake Chow, BLAKE-CHOW. You know, I just want to say on behalf of the Los Angeles Police Department, if you've followed this whole incident, all week we've been standing together as a regional team. The sheriff, district attorney, thank you, Mr. Hockman, city attorney, supervisors, city council members, because the only way we're going to have an impact and keep our community safe is if we stand together and we operate as a team. And I will tell you, in the Palisades area and the fires that we've experienced in Los Angeles, isn't it bad enough we have 40,000 people potentially that have been evacuated from an area, and then we get a handful of people that want to come up with activity to go victimize them. It's not enough that they have to worry about their properties and rebuilding and things like that, but now they would have to worry about criminals coming up there and taking advantage of them. So I want to really applaud our district attorney, and I also, for the charges that were filed, those are really important to send the message to the people out there that are not only thinking about going up there and victimizing the properties, but the stuff that may come after this in the form of scams. You're not going to get away with it. And this team is not going to let you get away with it. And for the residents of Los Angeles, on behalf of our police chief, I just wanted to tell the residents of Los Angeles, this team has your back. We have patrols up in the hills right now while the evacuation orders are in place to make sure that your properties are safe. And as you can see with the investigation, when we get evidence of a crime, we leave no stone unturned, and we find people, and we will bring them to justice and hand them over to the district attorney. So again, on behalf of the city of Los Angeles, thank you for this team. This is really the one way that we're going to ensure that this region is safe, and the people that live in our region are going to be able to come back to some sort of semblance of their normal lives. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Alan Hamilton, Chief of Detectives, Los Angeles Police Department. I want to first acknowledge the dangerous and difficult work that's been done by our brothers and sisters in the fire service, especially our Los Angeles Fire Department employees, and our Los Angeles Police Department officers and employees, both sworn and civilian, who stood shoulder to shoulder with our firefighters from all over the United States and the world, really, to help fight this fire and bring justice to these individuals who are being victimized again. A couple of things on the investigative side. So for the individuals that were involved in the burglary up in the canyon, our investigation started immediately upon report, and we were quickly developing investigative leads on that case. I want to acknowledge the hard work of our Metropolitan Division Crime Impact Team, who dropped another case that they were working on and immediately went up on this case utilizing multiple investigative techniques to identify these individuals, surveil them, make sure that a crime had actually occurred, verify that items were taken, and then effectively conducted surveillance and took them into custody in a safe manner and identified them as the individuals that were involved. Moving forward, there will be additional investigative information that will be developed as this case progresses, and we'll be able to release more information to the public. But at this time, we're going to be limited in terms of what we can release. In addition, I think most people are aware there was an incident where various individuals were attempting to identify themselves as firefighters. We continue to make progress on that case, and I anticipate that that is going to result in a successful filing as well. We've been able to develop information through our investigation that shows that there were conspiratorial acts that were involved in their activity, and I anticipate in the very near future we'll be filing additional charges against those individuals, as well as the misdemeanor charges of impersonating a public official. So I'm gonna close my remarks with this. We are aware that there are other crimes that have occurred, and my message to the public is this. Number one, we are aware of some of the individuals that are involved. The Los Angeles Police Department is going to continue those investigations and take them wherever they lead to. And I anticipate that we will be announcing additional arrests in the very near future for individuals that have been involved in activity within these closed areas. And there will be more to follow on that. The other thing I want to do is assure the community that at times you will see us out there in uniform and in black and white patrolling the area along with our National Guard partners. There are other times that you will not see us. We will be working undercover. We will be on social media. We will be conducting other investigations to bring every single one of these individuals that are involved in this criminal activity in the city of Los Angeles to justice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to now introduce Los Angeles County Sheriff Robert Luna.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for coming. What you see up here, and you're hearing pieces of it, is probably somebody who is out here looking to burglarize, loot, or commit other crimes here in the county of Los Angeles or the city of Los Angeles' worst nightmare. And I say that because standing around me, and you'll hear from a lot of people from the get-go, when I was communicating with Chief Jim McDonald, I was getting calls from the district attorney, Nathan Hockman, who says, hey, if there's anybody committing crimes, I want to know. I want the cases as quickly as possible. Getting cases from Martin Estrada. Everybody around me is hungry, whether it's the FBI, the ATF, all of our law enforcement partners. And why is that? Because we've seen hour and hour of people in our community suffering, losing their homes, losing their property. And just like everybody else, people are saying, hey, this is the reason I don't want to evacuate. I don't want to be victimized again. This is a strong message from all of us that we are here. And when we catch people, we mean business. We're going to arrest in the field. We're going to investigate. And then we're going to turn it over to our partners. And depending if it's a state case and or a federal case, we got it covered here. So whether we are talking about burglary, looting, we're talking about scams, we're talking about the misuse of drones, whatever it is, we're going to get you. Do not make this worse than it already is. We're in the middle of this. We have a lot of work to do. You've heard me over and over announce arrests that we are making. When we're making arrests, the 34 that I had as of this morning, not all of them are looting and burglary. But please note, and this is a strong message to everybody, because we still have an active curfew that is in effect, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. If you do not have any legitimate business in these areas, stay out, because our deputies are stopping people in a constitutional manner, I may add, and they are asking people questions. On many occasions, we are involved in these conversations. We're coming up with narcotics. We're coming up with individuals who are carrying guns. And guess what? None of them live in this area. So what are they doing there? You got to think, hey, why would I, if I have narcotics and a gun on me, go to an area that has a curfew in it? Well, that's what we're dealing with. We're going to deal with that. We're going to continue to work. And I appreciate the work that all of these folks are doing to make sure that the people in our community do not get re-victimized. Stay out of the curfew area. Do not come here to do anything you shouldn't be doing. You're going to get caught. And as you heard from the DA, and then you'll hear from our federal partners, you're going to get hammered. Thank you. And by the way, on behalf of all of our community and the deputies that I'm talking to who are working their butts off out there away from their family on 12-hour shifts plus, thank you guys for the work that you've done and the work you're going to do, because our police officers and deputies want to know when they stop and arrest somebody that somebody's going to get prosecuted and there's going to be consequences. So thank you.
I'd like to now introduce Azusa Police Department Chief Rocky Wenwick.
Good afternoon, everyone. First, I'd just like to say, on behalf of the city and our department, pass along our prayers and thoughts and condolences to all those who have lost a loved one or lost property. To add to the previous speakers, for us, we're outside that fire zone, immediate fire zone area. What I'd like to commend is our community for paying attention, being observant, and seeing something and saying something. At that time, the park had lost a lot of trees that were down. The city had started its cleanup process, made big piles of lumber and bushes, and they're all piled up, which made something for somebody to come by and say, hey, look at that. It looked like it'd be a great place to light a fire or cause some damage. The park was just 100 yards from the base of the San Gabriel Mountains, so we got lucky that day. And I'd like to thank the community for keeping their eyes out and ask everybody to keep your eyes out. In times of this disaster that's going on, people might not go to those areas because, just like the sheriff said right now, there are curfews, but they also know that law enforcement from all over the county is there to assist those areas, to assist the LAPD, assist the National Guard, to assist the Sheriff's Department and these other smaller cities. So it leaves vulnerabilities elsewhere, or what they perceive as vulnerabilities. But the community, please be vigilant elsewhere, because it just takes another fire someplace else, and we have to split our resources. So please stay vigilant. And again, thank you to everybody from the federal, LAPD, and I'd like to thank the district attorney for his aggressive support of law enforcement and letting people know that there is accountability when you make a decision that is not the right one. Thank you.
Just a minute here. Okay, I think we're back. I think we're back here. How's my audio now, guys? How we're doing? Good sound? Great. Thanks, Charlene. Appreciate it. Okay, I don't know why the audio dropped out while the video was playing. But it's not if, it's when. If you break the law, you're going to be arrested. If you light buildings and grassland on fire, you will be arrested. Now, it's not just people that are doing it committing arson. Okay? Tomorrow night I'm going to show you information that I've gotten via the GOES satellites that show there's something more going on. It's a separate discussion even. So I'm not even going to go there right now. But we are going to go there. Today, there are 360,000 people that got their power restored in the Los Angeles area. At one point in time, there was over 1,400,000 customers without power. There are still 18,500 people without power. Major impact areas are Pacific Palisades and Brentwood right now. The Eaton fires has spread over to Brentwood, California, just east of the Eaton area and east of the Pacific Palisades. That area is on fire now, and other areas around Brentwood as well. It's not over. It's not over. I personally don't think it'll be over until at least possibly next week at the earliest, after these Santa Ana winds calm down. Over the weekend, the Santa Ana winds calmed down for a short time until yesterday. The Santa Ana winds we call devil winds over in the Southern California area started up and are already at 50 to 60 miles per hour tonight. And they're going to hit the peak of 60 to 80 miles per hour tomorrow. Okay, so these winds are very high-powered winds. They're going to spread this fire. Now, Shirlene is making a point here. No power, no water, no cooking, no flushing the toilets, no baths. Oh my gosh. And that's just the beginning. I agree. It is just the beginning. Now, we had a hurricane that went through here on September 27th. We were without power 2 days. Just a hair less than 2 days. I know what it's like not having water to flush the toilets. However, we had saved our water. We'd saved our water. We put gallons of water away in our closets so we could flush the toilet, so we could wash our hands. We had water saved, stored away in our closets so we could drink. Pure water for us to drink. The other water we had stored was tap water. When we emptied a big gallon jug of water for our dogs or to cook with, we refilled it with tap water and we saved it. We stored it. We had water to flush toilets. We had water to clean with. We had fresh water to cook with because we had also stored fresh water for that. Fresh water for us to drink, fresh water for our dogs as well. We don't drink, none of us here in this household drink water from the tap. Not at all. But that's what you have to do. Here in Los Angeles, there are still people without power, meaning they don't have water or any other power to even cook with. We used our barbecue grill to cook with. Not to barbecue with, but to cook with when our power went down. Now, here in Los Angeles, still, the Pacific Palisades and Brentwood and some other small communities are still on fire. We're going to cover more of that tomorrow. We're not going to get far into it tonight. But I want to show you this other statistic here. There are 92,000 people under evacuation orders. There are still 92,000 people under evacuation orders due to the fires in Los Angeles. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Now, there are 16 dead. 16 dead. Lawsuits have been filed against Southern California Edison as well over the historic Eaton fire near Pasadena. It's just been found out during the past 2 days that there were power lines and transformers that arced that caused fires. So now there's another lawsuit filed against Southern California Edison for causing some of the fires. We believe the Eaton fire was ignited because of Southern California Edison's failure to de-energize its overhead wires. Bridgeford, Gleason, and one other site. Unreal. Unreal. That's not over. It's not over, guys. I promise you, it's not over. Now, I want to get away from fires. In a few minutes, I'm going to talk about earthquakes. Today, Carol and I went to a supermarket. No eggs at all. There were absolutely no eggs. Now, some of you may already know that the Biden-Harris administration have been telling the agricultural department to go out to farms and ranches throughout California. Farms and ranches around the country, literally. They're telling the farmers and ranchers to destroy their chickens, because their chickens and ducks and turkeys may have the bird flu. None of the birds have been tested, but the Biden administration has inflated the bird flu beyond recognition, just like they did during the Obama administration before that. Millions of chickens died in Nebraska. Millions of chickens were assassinated in Nebraska. A huge chicken ranch was set on fire, and those chickens died in the fire. Here in North and South Carolina, full ranches of chickens and turkeys were assassinated because the government felt that the bird flu was going to pose a danger and come into humans. It's not done that. There are only 43 cases worldwide where the bird flu has passed on to cattle and passed on to human beings. 43 cases worldwide. With that, remember that stupid governor in California, Governor Newsom? NEWSCUM? That man in California has declared a state of emergency for the bird flu. Yet how many birds have caught the bird flu yet? Incredible. Incredible. That's what the Democrat politicians do. They institute emergencies that don't exist. California is one state in the entire nation, the only state in the entire nation that has instituted a state of emergency for the bird flu. If it was that big a deal, the bird flu would have passed on to Oregon and Washington to the north. The bird flu would have also been passed on to Arizona and over into Nevada. It hasn't happened. Again, Newsom is causing all kinds of problems. Newsom is also the person who partially is responsible for the fires. Why do I say that? 2 reservoirs, 2 full reservoirs were drained out. Why? Because Newsom decided that that water had to be released to save smelt. Little tiny bait fish. Little tiny bait fish, guys. Unreal. He drained out 2 full reservoirs. He drained out 2 full reservoirs to save some tiny bait fish called smelt. Incredible. It's totally incredible what this piece of horse manure has done. And as a result of him closing down those reservoirs, there was no water at the hydrants in Pacific Palisades, which allowed the Pacific Palisades to disappear. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. But let's take another look at this. Look at all these fires, literally all over Southern California. From Malibu, the Palisades, Eaton Fire, over into Hollywood. Incredible. It's not over. It's not over. Let me let you look at this. Let me let you look at this. Okay? Just like Maui. It happened in Paradise, California before Maui. Then Maui came in. Now Los Angeles. Okay? As I said, tomorrow I will have evidence showing that these fires were not just started by arsonists. These fires are not started just by arsonists. The DEW weapon was used. The DEW weapon was used, and I have proof of it. There's a lot of proof out there. Now, Kathy Apian is asking about Japan. I know all about Japan. Okay? For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, let's go and look at the USGS earthquake map. Let me take my mug down here, my banner down here, and let's look at the USGS map. Okay? Right now, this is the United States. And yes, we have an earthquake over in the southern part of the Cascadia subduction zone. But let's go over and look at Japan right now. Earlier today, we had a major earthquake that hit over in southern Japan. Miyazaki, Japan. USGS is calling this they're calling it a 6.8 earthquake. They're calling it a 6.8 earthquake. Well, guys, guess what? Again, I've done my research. USGS is downgraded to a 6.2. USBS is downgraded to a 6.2. But guess what? It was actually, I believe, a 7.8 earthquake. I reviewed the data from the back seismologist study page from the USGS. Let me show you that. I think everyone deserves to know the truth about what is really going on. Because, of course, the United States Geological Survey is not going to show it. They're not going to show it now, and they never will. Let me show you something else here. Just a second. Guys, I went over to the back seismologist study page here. Okay? I'm going to blow it up so you can see the data here. I want you to see this. This is important. It came out as a 6.8 earthquake. They downgraded to a 6.2. And I am not going to show you all the different seismographs reporting the data, but I am going to tell you about it. Look at this. They show it as a 6.8 earthquake here. That's what it came out. It shows 87 stations, 87 seismographs giving the data out. No station details contributed. Again, they do not want us to see the data. They absolutely do not want us to see the data. The next one they show is a 6.8 also, with 151 stations reporting the data. But no station details contributed. As with all the other earthquakes, USGS is hiding the data. The United States Geological Survey is hiding the data. Then I came over here. I kept looking. They show a 6.3 earthquake. Even on the USGS map, this does not show to be a 6.3 earthquake. However, it's showing 677 seismograph stations reporting the data. And I clicked on that station details. It's probably close to 800 stations reporting data. And guess what? This earthquake was actually between a 7.2 and a 7.8 earthquake. A 7.2 to 7.8 earthquake. Again, the United States Geological Survey is lying to the world. They're absolutely lying to the world. Why did they show the downgraded earthquake to a 6.3 when the map shows at least a 6.8? Why? Inquiring minds want to know. Why? Like I said, inquiring minds want to know. They're not being honest with anybody at all. Not one whit. They're not being honest with anybody. Now, I find it hard to sit here and put up with this crap. And honestly, that's exactly what it is crap. On the data, they downgrade to 6.3. It's not a 6.3. It's not even a 6.8 earthquake. And they're also not showing all the earthquakes on the map. Let me click on this. Look at this. We are showing one 5.2. And there's one other earthquake here as well. Let's zoom in on this. I want to show you this. This is slightly offshore. It says it's 20 kilometers east-southeast of Takanabe, Japan. Takanabe, Japan, excuse me. Takanabe, Takanabe, Japan. It's slightly offshore. There are another dozen aftershocks. There are another dozen aftershocks here. Yeah, Don Patoka's here in the chat saying, Ron, it's classified. It's need to know. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it sure is. Need to know. What a bunch of crap that is. Let's zoom in here. Look at this city here. These people didn't feel the entire brunt of this earthquake. However, they did feel a great majority of it. Because this was a powerful earthquake. Even though it's out to sea, the Pacific Ocean only absorbed part of the seismic waves of this earthquake. There is some destruction here. We do not have any information quite yet about any fatalities or even people that are injured here. There is some destruction here by this earthquake. This was a very powerful earthquake. Okay? Right just barely offshore from this city here, Takanabe, Japan. Why am I so upset? I get upset when the agency lies to us through their teeth. Number one. Number two, I have to report the information, good or bad. Kathy Payne is asking, did it affect Fukushima? No. This is probably 1,500 miles south of there. Did not affect Fukushima. Fukushima has its own problems. Remember that earthquake back in 2011? Remember that earthquake up here in northern Japan here? Back in 2011 here? I think this is like 1,500 miles away. Let's look at this map here. It's probably more than 2,000 miles from where this earthquake hit today. What is still going on with Fukushima? The Fukushima power plant went offline, but they had to pour water on the reactor core. They had to pour water on the reactor core to try to cool it down. They have not been able to contain that water. They have not been able to contain all the water that they have used to try to cool down the core of that reactor. They have had to release the radioactive water out into the Pacific Ocean. So the fish out here in the Pacific Ocean have been radiated. Hurricane Heather said in the chat she hasn't gotten any damage reports from Fukushima, Japan, or Takanami, Japan, and neither have I. And I've looked. Yes, that water that was used to cool off the core of that reactor is still leaking out into the Pacific. Purposely leaking. They at first tried to contain the water. They could not do it. Yeah, glow-in-the-dark fish. Fish with sores. Fish with great big cancers on them. Yeah. Kanita Warrior saying, sickening people for years. You're absolutely right. This earthquake today did not leak any radiation from any power plants down here in southern Japan. Aubrey's talking about three-eyed fish. I've seen three-eyed fish myself off the shores of San Diego on 2 different occasions, 2 separate and distinct locations. It's incredible. But this 6.8/7.2/7.8 earthquake is the largest earthquake today. Let's back off here and go south. Let's go over here to the Philippines. Okay? Southern Philippines, down here south of Mindanao, Philippines. This is a large 5.0 earthquake off the southern tip of Mindanao, Philippines. Mindanao, Philippines is the largest island in the Philippine archipelago here. A 5.0 large earthquake here. This is a large earthquake. Now the people in the Philippines don't have the same building standards as the United States. Again, here in the Philippines, I haven't gotten any damage reports or injury reports from this earthquake. But look where it's at. Just off the coast of the Philippines. Basically the same distance off the coast of Takanami, Japan. 22 kilometers off the shore. Unreal. But that's not all, folks. There's more. Over here in Sumatra, Indonesia here. There are earthquakes here. 2 4s here in Sumatra. USGS is not showing those either. Over here in Java, Indonesia, there's 2 earthquakes here. Why are they not showing them? Inquiring minds want to know. Southeast Java. Los Palos, Timor, Indonesia. This is another 5.0 large earthquake. But again, USGS is calling these moderate earthquakes. Moderate earthquakes. There's nothing moderate about a 5.0 earthquake at all. Let's go over here to Papua, Indonesia. This is a 5.1 near Aveyah, Indonesia. 5.1 large earthquake. This is 34 kilometers deep. Fairly shallow. This also has a 4.7 aftershock. Also 35 kilometers deep. Shallow earthquake. Let's go over here to Papua New Guinea. Another 5.0 earthquake here. This one's 82 kilometers deep. Out here to the west, also in Papua New Guinea. This is 137 kilometers east-southeast Kimbe, Papua New Guinea. A 4.4 moderate earthquake here. 4.4 they're calling light earthquakes. Again, there is nothing light about a moderate earthquake. Moderate earthquakes cause moderate damage, not light damage. Stupid USPS. Down here in Australia on Sunday morning, we had a 4.7 earthquake here. USGS had it on their maps for about 10 minutes and then took it back down. 4.7 moderate earthquake here. It shook up the people here in Australia. 1,800 people felt this earthquake. It was north of most population centers here in southeastern Indonesia. Or I'm sorry, not Indonesia, southeastern Australia. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. There's earthquakes down here in New Zealand. There have been 4.3, 4.5, and 4.7 earthquakes down here in the southern part of the North Island of New Zealand. There's 14 earthquakes here in New Zealand today. Most of them 2.0, 2.9 minor earthquakes, and 3.2 to 3.9 small earthquakes, and then 4.0, 4.7 here in New Zealand. And yet, our agencies decided not to report them. Our agency says we only have 202 earthquakes worldwide. I call BS. Down here in Fiji, southern Fiji, another 4.7 earthquake here. This is 251 kilometers east of Levuka, Fiji. Levuka, Fiji's here. This is 493 kilometers deep. A fairly deep earthquake. A fairly deep earthquake. Being this deep, it's going to propagate another 5.2 earthquake. This earthquake, this 4.7 today, is going to propagate, in other words, give us another earthquake that's more shallow and larger. A 5.2 earthquake is going to hit in this region sometime during the next 3 to 10 days. It could happen here in Fiji. It could happen over here northeast of there in Tonga, or further northeast of there in Samoa. It could go up here north of there into the Vanuatu area. Go northwest over here in the Solomon Islands. But sometime in the next 72 hours to 10 days, we're going to have another 5.2 earthquake here in this region. And I don't think it's going to take even 72 hours. Okay? Let's back out here. I want to go over here to South America. Why? Look over here. Guayaquil, Ecuador today. Another large 5.1 earthquake. Another large 5.1 earthquake. But guess what? This one just hit southeast of Guayaquil. They're saying it's 11 kilometers south-southeast of Guayaquil, Ecuador. A large city. Well, I think this may be even the capital city of Ecuador. Guayaquil, Ecuador. 82.7 kilometers deep, making it a shallow quake. Shallow quakes are more dangerous. Shallow quakes make it more, not just dangerous, but make it so it'll affect more people. More destruction. More injuries. This is a 5.1 large earthquake. Again, I don't have any fatality numbers or injury numbers here, but there is going to be some damage here. I promise you there's damage here in Guayaquil, Ecuador. This is on land. This is on land. I want you also to take a look about where this earthquake is. This is on the western side of the Andes Mountains. The western side of the Andes Mountains. Again, this is on the western end, the western edge of the South American plate. The western edge of the South American plate. Most of the time we have earthquakes in the Andes Mountains themselves, which is actually the edge of the plate. Let's go further south here. I want to go over here to northern Chile. Today over here in northern Chile, Antofagasta, Chile, we have another 4.5 moderate earthquake here. Tirana, Chile. This is 84 kilometers deep. A fairly shallow earthquake. 4.5 moderate earthquake. This is a 4.4. Look where it's located. This is in the foothills of the Andes Mountains. 36 kilometers east-southeast of Olague, Ollague, Chile. Antofagasta, Chile. We have a lot of earthquakes here normally. Now, USGS is not showing all the earthquakes. I believe we have a total of 6 earthquakes in this region right here. They're showing 2. Further south down here in central Chile, this is a 3.3 earthquake here. It's on the shoreline of San Antonio, Chile. On the shoreline of San Antonio, Chile. Again, 35 kilometers deep. There's a half a dozen earthquakes here in this region. And USPS isn't showing them. Why not? There are more earthquakes over here in northern Colombia as well. Why are they not showing those? Look at here in Central America. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Central America. There are 14 earthquakes here in Central America. Why are they not showing them? Southern Mexico, they're not showing any earthquakes here as well. What is wrong, USGS? Get your frickin' act together. Get your act together. It's incredible what we are not showing here. Why are they not showing them? Inquiring minds want to know. Tomorrow I'm going to show you earthquakes here in Southern California. Look at all these earthquakes here. This is only a small sample of earthquakes happening here. Right here. Southeast San Diego County. The mountains here are the Chocolate Mountains. This is 6 kilometers west-southwest of Pine Valley. Southeast San Diego in the county. This is a 2.4 earthquake. Down here south of San Diego City in Chula Vista, just north of the border, just north of the U.S.-Mexican border. 7 kilometers, basically 3 miles east-southeast of Chula Vista. A 1.4 tremor. 1.4 tremor. Let's look at it. I just love going here. Guess what? They're now calling this a tremor. This is the first time I've seen this classified as a tremor. This is smack dab in the middle of a quarry. This is smack dab in the middle of a quarry just southeast of Chula Vista. Chula Vista is a city south of San Diego. This should have been qualified possibly as a quarry blast. Just maybe, it was just a tremor here in southeast San Diego. Southeast San Diego County. It's right in the middle of a quarry. Let me show you something else. Usually, they're showing earthquakes here. This is a sports complex. They show earthquakes here. Interesting enough. But guess what? I've seen them call quarry blasts right here. Right in the middle of the East Lakes housing development here in Chula Vista. We've actually had earthquakes here that they've called quarry blasts over here in East Lake, San Diego. East Lake, Chula Vista. Incredible what they get away with. I want to go up here as well. I get a kick out of this. Okay? Right here. This used to be called the Coors Amphitheater. The Coors Amphitheater. I saw Jimmy Buffett here. I think years ago I told you that I saw the Jimmy Buffett here, and I won't go into the story right now. Huge amphitheater. They've said that there are quarry blasts hitting over here in the residential area and also here in the Coors Amphitheater area. It's not a quarry blast, guys. USGS still doesn't have their act together. But at least they called this a tremor. Right in the middle of a quarry. Interesting enough. But tomorrow we're going to explore earthquakes here in Southern California. Let's go north right now. Ontario, California. San Bernardino County. This is a 1.6 tremor here. Over here closer to the coast. They're saying this is Willowbrook, California. Interesting enough. A 1.1 tremor here. 3.4 kilometers deep, 2.25 miles deep here. A 1.1 tremor here also 1 mile south-southwest of Willowbrook, California. For all intents and purposes, it's not just 1 mile. Look where this earthquake is. It might be 1 mile from the downtown area of Willowbrook. This is in Willowbrook, California. Again, just like we see in Alaska. They don't even have their directions right. 1 mile south-southwest of Willowbrook, California. It's at Willowbrook, California. They say this is 3 kilometers northwest of Willowbrook. It's not northwest. It's directly north of Willowbrook. 1.5 miles north of Willowbrook. Maybe 1.5 miles. It's incredible what they get away with. But again, tomorrow will look at all the earthquakes here in Southern California, but guess what? They're not even showing 1/8 of the earthquakes here in Southern California. Not even 1/8 of the earthquakes, and they're not showing the large earthquakes as well. There are over 800 earthquakes here in Southern California alone. Over 800 earthquakes here between Los Angeles, San Diego, and the Imperial County over here in Southern California near the Mexican border. 800 earthquakes in this area, they're not showing even 1/8 of them. What a joke USBS is. One other factoid here. Over here in the southern part of the Cascadia subduction zone, on the Gorda Escarpment, this is a 2.2 earthquake here. A 2.2 minor earthquake here in the southern part of the Cascadia subduction zone. Just a minor earthquake. Just a minor earthquake. Incredible what they're not showing. Folks, I had a dream last night. It was not a very pleasant dream. I had a dream last night that a very large, huge earthquake hit here in San Francisco. I don't necessarily give much footage to that dream, but I saw a lot of destruction here in San Francisco in that dream. I'm hoping it does not happen. Right here we have a 1.8 tremor here. We have a lot of tremors and earthquakes right here. This is on the San Jacinto Fault Zone. The San Jacinto Fault here. I'm not sorry, not the San Jacinto, the San Andreas Fault here. The San Jacinto does not go this far north. This is San Andreas Fault here. This is 5 kilometers, 3.5 miles west of San Francisco Zoo. This is a 1.8 tremor here. This is a 2.3 earthquake here, minor earthquake. 2.3 earthquake here. This is a 2.4 here. And this is a 1.8 tremor on the San Andreas Fault here. On the San Andreas Fault, just west of the San Francisco Zoo. We've had many, many earthquakes here in the past. This should be nothing new here. On the San Andreas. Further to the west, this is a 1.8 tremor. This is in Concord, California. Concord, California. This is on the Calaveras Fault. A 1.8 tremor on the Calaveras Fault here. Over here on the west, the further west from there, on the east side of San Francisco Bay, we have the Hayward Fault. The Hayward Fault. The 6.9 earthquake that destroyed the San Francisco Bay Bridge originated here on the Hayward Fault. Just so you know. More earthquakes further south here, south of San Jose here. This is a 1.5 tremor. Southwest of Los Altos Hills, California. 1.5 tremor. Guess what? On the San Andreas Fault. This is also 1.5 tremor here. This is 10 kilometers west of Saratoga, California. On the San Andreas Fault. Further south here on the Hayward, Gilroy, California with a 2.3 earthquake. We continue to have 2.3, 2.5, 3.7 earthquakes here on the Gilroy, California area. On the Hayward Fault. Further south on the San Andreas, Tres Pinos, California. 1.3 tremor here. But guess what? It's a swarm of quakes. This is just a swarm of quakes here. This is a 2.8. This is a 3.0. To the north here, this is a 1.7 tremor. This is a 2.0 earthquake, minor earthquake here. This is a 2.0 here. This is a 2.6 minor earthquake here. And further southeast of there, this is a 2.0. This is 17 kilometers northwest of the Pinnacles. Northwest of the Pinnacles. Well, guess what, guys? We're talking about the San Andreas Fault here. On the San Andreas Fault. A lot of earthquakes. Now, there are earthquakes all around this globe. We're not even going to touch on them tonight. But I'm telling you, there's earthquakes everywhere. The earthquakes all over Europe. Earthquakes in Iceland. We're going to have another volcanic eruption in Iceland. Very, very soon. Just so you know. It's going to happen. Does anyone have any questions for me? You see some earthquakes here in Texas? Pires, Texas at 2.3. Further north in southwestern Texas, Garden City, a 1.3 tremor. 1.3 in Stanton, Texas. These are aftershocks of the 5.1 earthquake that hit here in Stanton, Texas, about 5 or 6 months ago. Unreal. This is Hermleigh, Texas. We had another 5.0 earthquake here about 5 or 6 months ago as well. And further north here, you can't leave out Oklahoma. This is a 1.6 tremor. All the earthquakes in Oklahoma and Texas are, guess what? Oil and gas quakes. Oil and gas quakes. They're all right smack dab in the middle of an oil and gas pumping operation. Each and every one of these earthquakes are right in the smack dab in the middle of an oil gas pumping operation. Now, let me get out of earthquakes. Let me get out of these earthquakes. Before I let you go, there's some things that I have on my heart that I need to talk to you about. Today I was privy to a press conference with the Secret Service, the FBI, Metro Police, U.S. Capitol Police, and the U.S. National Guard. In Washington, D.C. right now. They've been having meetings ever since this weekend. On Saturday, it was their second meeting. They are preparing for the inauguration of President Trump, one of the largest law enforcement security operations in the country. They do not have any pertinent threats. They say there's no pertinent threats in Washington, D.C. right now. They have made 7 arrests. They have made 7 arrests in the Washington, D.C. metro area. But there are no pertinent threats right now. They're bringing in a total of 20,000 National Guard troops this Saturday. Over 1,700 law enforcement officers from around this country into Washington, D.C. on Saturday and Sunday. Every FBI agent, every U.S. Capitol Police officer, every Washington Metro Capitol Police officer will be on duty. Come Monday. They will have over 7,000 officers and another 2,000 National Guard troops in Washington, D.C. for President Trump's inauguration. They've also battle-hardened the reviewing stand where President Trump and his family and others will be. They have battle-hardened the reviewing stand. Unreal. Unreal. Every inauguration in the past 30 years, the security for the inauguration has been up and increased. It's happening again. It would be due all of our knowledge bases to keep our eye on what's going on in Washington, D.C. Renee Seppi says, keep your head on a swivel the next couple of weeks. Now, with that said, folks, I want to tell you this. I do not feel good about the inauguration in Washington, D.C. at all. I've not had any bad dreams, but my thought processes are this. There will be trouble in Washington, D.C. They're allowing protesters at the inauguration about 1.5 miles to 2 miles outside of the viewing area. They're allowing protesters in. As I said before, they've already made some arrests. Unreal. Do any of you have any questions about anything I've just discussed? I just want to make sure we cover all bases here. Catherine Payne says, I would not go to D.C. for any amount of money. I would not either. Back when Ronald Reagan was being re-inaugurated, 1984, I was invited to that inauguration, but I did not go because the airports were closed. The airports were closed because of freezing rain and snow. All the airports around D.C., including out in Virginia, were closed. So I was not able to attend. Sad. I would have loved to have gone then. Right now, I would not go at all. Erlinda Mustafa says it worries her as well. Anyway, guys, if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to end this here. If you have any questions at all, send them over to our email address. You see that on your screen here, scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Carol and I would still love to get any letters or cards from all of you at our address here at 104 North Green Street, Box 105, Morganton, North Carolina 28655. We got one letter last week, and that's all we've had. I appreciate Charlene Mail for sending us that. That was a cool card. I thank you all for being here. Trish Killian says, great show, Ron. Thank you so much. Catherine Payne says, why protesters? That's crazy. The protesters are mostly Antifa, communism, protesters from the Democrat Communist Party, and from Palestinian protesters. Because Biden has let those Palestinian protesters into this country. Starting off at 12 noon on Monday, the new border czar is going to eliminate the protesters, or start eliminating the protesters. The bad guys. The people that Biden and his regime have let into this country. Unreal. Virginia says she's left a stream of water running in her home because she doesn't want the pipes freezing. I agree. Folks, if any of you around this country or around the world, if your temperatures are below freezing, let a small stream of water run out of your faucets in your house. Very, very tiny stream of water from the faucets in your house. That will keep your pipes from being frozen. Okay? It's a great idea. Charlie Mayo is saying, who's paying these protesters? I'll tell you who. Biden, his regime, the Communist Democrat Party, is paying for it. Unreal. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you all being here. If you want to support this program, just below this video today, in our top of our program description, we have a way you can join this YouTube team of EMA supporters by joining membership here. Also below that is our email address, and also below that we have PayPal address as well, where you can send donations to our PayPal, which we greatly appreciate. We'd love to see cards and letters from you, because we love hearing from you and your families. We love that. We really do. Total Vagabonds is back from Ireland. Thank you for being here. God bless you, my brother. I appreciate Total Vagabonds for being here. From the Emerald Isles, he says, lots of love to everybody. Lots of love back to you as well. Thank you for being here. Guys, I love and appreciate you. I love and appreciate all of you for being here. May God bless you. May God bless you always. Have a good night, everybody. If anything else happens here going forward tonight or in the morning, we will be back on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. Now, I want to read a scripture here before we leave here. I do this almost every program. There are a couple programs lately I have not done it. But this, I'm going over to Matthew. I'm going to Matthew 5, verse 23. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother hath aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled with thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. Why is the Lord telling us that? He wants us to repent. He wants us to be good with our family. He wants us to be good with our friends as well, and neighbors. Reconcile with your friends, your neighbors, and your family, guys. Then you can bring the gift to the altar. Then you can truly worship God as you should. I love all of you. God be with you until we meet again. We will see you on the other side here. Take care, everybody. Much love. I do love you very much. See you then. Bye-bye.